Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. My name is ForceOfWill, and this is WWFree Raw is Wrong. Now, I've had a bit of an extended absence because of illness issues and the fact that I've been soaking in the absolute travesty that is the WWE network here in Europe. Now, one of the things that kind of sold me on getting the network initially was the fact that I was going to be able to watch all the old episodes of Raw, all the old episodes of SmackDown, and at least here in Europe that is not the case. I don't know whether it's to do with the copyright laws or something to do with the fact that they're still with a company over here called Sky, but we can't watch Raw live on the network, which means because I'm poor and I don't happen to have Sky or cable TV, it means that even though I pay £9.99 a month, I still have to pirate Raw. I don't feel bad about it anymore because I'm paying my £9.99 a month, but I do think it's fucking ridiculous that I pay said $9.99 a month, because, you know, WWE loves to hammer how much that fucking piece of shit is. They love to hammer it home. So I'll say it again, it's $9.99 a month for you to get ripped off. Because the old pay-per-views, I've seen most of the stuff that I love from back in the day. And yeah, it's kind of fun to relive some of the really, really good matches, but also their idea of original programming is utter shit. It's countdowns of old stuff. It's shite like Total Fucking Divas, which, you know, thankfully I've still never seen an episode of, and I never fucking will. Mostly because it's fucking bullshit. Excuse me while I just relocate this bloody microphone of mine that also happens to be my headset. So yeah, before I go any further, I would like to talk a bit about the network over here in Europe. The big problem I have been having is this serious bloody lagging issue. No, Purdy, you can't go out there. Sorry, that's one of my cats. I'll see if I can get her to come over in a minute so you guys can meet her. Purdy, come here, Baba. Hey? You gonna come up here and say hello? 1 second, people. Come here. Come here, Baba. You don't like... Oh, she doesn't like being picked up. But this is Purdy. Hey? You gonna climb up on my shoulders? No? There you go. Purdy, say hello to the people at home. This is Purdy Cat. She is one of my awesome cats. Please excuse the mess behind me. So anyway, yeah, this bloody lagging issue. Initially, it didn't tell me. The network didn't tell me that I needed to disable my ad blocker for the player to even work. That was something I had to troubleshoot on my own when I first got the network. Now, I have made some notes in my little camp book of note making. My God, Raw. Right, this is the last fucking Raw before WrestleMania. Now, this is usually a really fucking good show, because they spend the entire show sort of building up what's going to happen. Two things. I made 2 predictions to my wonderful, wonderful daughter, 3 Degree Burn. I told her, 1, there will be the biggest fucking punch-up you've ever seen between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I'll get to that in a little while. There's a little story behind that whole Roman Reigns thing, but I'll get to that in a little while. Yeah. So that didn't happen. we'll deal. Yeah, I'll deal with the end of the show first, because you know that's the thing that kind of pissed me off the most about Raw. The last couple of weeks, we haven't had a main fucking event. Like, last week we had the bullshit with Rollins supposedly trying to set up Randy Orton, who had previously said he didn't give a shit how many people Rollins brought to the ring, he was going to that match. And that match never took place. You had the Authority surround the ring, and then Sting appears to back Randy Orton up. So, no main event there. And there was no main event this week, because the last segment of the show was dedicated to Heyman and Lesnar coming out. Now, the last few weeks, Heyman has talked some of the most amazing promos I've seen in a very, very long time. That coupled with, you know, his ability to cut a great promo, coupled with the fact that, I don't know whether it's scripted, although because it's happened a few times, it probably is scripted. That coupled with the fact that somebody in the sound truck keeps fucking with him when he's cutting his promos and keeps turning his mic off. And, you know, there was a point last week that it happened, I think it was like the third week running, and Mr. Heyman went absolutely white with fucking fury, and it was so entertaining to watch, because I was like, you know, legitimately, if somebody is deliberately fucking with him backstage, then that's one time I would not want to be in the production truck after Paul left, you know, being out at ringside, or, you know, even in the ring. I would not want to be that fucking sound guy, because legitimately, I thought Paul Heyman was going to fucking kill somebody. But yeah, you know, he's talked an amazing game these last few weeks, bigging up Brock Lesnar, who most of the time has been a complete and total fucking no-show. And I mean, this is a big problem I have with the state of WWE right now. They made the most fucking crucial error this time last year when Brock Lesnar ended the fucking streak. It just made no fucking sense to me. Now, fair enough, if we're talking about people who could legitimately beat up The Undertaker, then there's very few people in the company now or before that could do it. And Brock Lesnar probably is one of those guys. But that doesn't mean you should hand him something as amazing as ending the bloody streak. My biggest problem with the way that Heyman talks him up is he comes out and he says, you know, the reigning, defending WWE champion. Now, I'm sorry, how many title defenses has he had since he's had that title? Like 3 or 4, and he's had it since like September of last year. Now, let me just quickly do the maths for you. You know, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Well, I know he's only had 2, 3, maybe at a stretch 4 title matches. He's been champion for 7 months or thereabouts. So shouldn't he have had like at least 7 title defenses? What happened to the whole 28 days rule that they used to, or you know, the 1 month rule that they used to take the championship from Daniel Bryan because he was injured and couldn't defend it? Oh no, because he's Brock Lesnar, he gets to pick and fucking choose when he turns up, who he fights, and, you know, what kind of a match he's going to be in. Now, I'm sorry, if he is... Well, no, it's not even an if. He is WWE talent. Therefore, the motherfucker should adhere to the same fucking rules that everybody else adheres to. No defense within 30 days, you get that shit stripped from your ass. Now, fair enough, there's probably nobody Triple H included, backstage, that's brave enough to walk up to Brock Lesnar and go, fuck you, you're out of here. We want our title back. Like, Heyman even said something about it, I think it was last week, was, you know, whatever Brock damn well pleases, whatever Brock is going to do whatever he damn well pleases. And if that means unifying the UFC and WWE titles, then he's going to do that, if that's what he feels like doing. Yeah, quite probably. I remember Heyman saying something along the lines of, if they try a Montreal-style screw job, then anyone who's involved in it won't be leaving the arena at WrestleMania. And again, this is something I can genuinely fucking believe, because Brock Lesnar isn't a wrestler, he's a brawler. He's a guy that beats the shit out of people. And I could legitimately... Jesus Christ, behave yourself. I could legitimately see him beating the crap out of somebody backstage for him getting screwed. I could see him hospitalising Triple H, for instance. You know, like back in the day when it happened to Brett bitch slapped Vince McMahon and spat in his face. Yeah, that wouldn't cut it with Brock. Brock would hospitalise people. So I can't see them screwing him that way. So yeah, we're back to my predictions for this week's Raw. Which, spoiler alert, were both fucking wrong, which really pisses me off. So yeah, you've got, you know, Brock and Heyman in the ring, and Heyman's giving it loads, talking. Even, like, in his promos, like, blah, 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 blah. Because, indeed, that is exactly what I was hearing coming out of his mouth, regardless to the words he was saying. Because we've heard it all by this point. Roman Reigns comes down, and I'm like, I have waited all show for a really fucking good fight. This is going to be it. There's going to be fucking blood everywhere, broken teeth, broken bones. Somebody's not getting to WrestleMania. What I got was the two of them staring at each other for a minute. Brock going, hey, I'm the champion. Roman Reigns snatching the belt out of his hand and going, I'm gonna be champion. And the two of them, like, I'm not even lying, Raw ends on the two of them, like, two little 10-year-old children fighting over a plastic WWE belt, backwards and forwards, this little fucking tug of child. Oh my god! As the ending of the last Raw before Mania, this has got to be the worst fucking shit to do with a main event that there's ever been. Like, it's the worst promotion for this fucking main event. Because A, nobody fucking wants Lesnar there. Nobody gives a shit about Lesnar. Nobody fucking likes the guy. And B, everyone wanted Daniel Bryan. Now, fair enough, DB's not in the picture, and he's in that intercontinental clusterfuck, which is a great term coined by a guy called Spoonie. If you've not heard of him, after this video, check him out, search him on the YouTube thing above. Spoonie, or the Spoonie Experiment. Noah Antweiler, the guy's a fucking genius. But yeah, he calls it the Intercontinental Clusterfuck match. It's great, but I'll get to that later on. Yeah, so, you know, Daniel Bryan's not in the main event picture. He's in this IC ladder match crap. So I'm not, you know... It goes back to a conversation that myself, Dented Nerd, and 3 Degree had when Daniel Bryan had to relinquish the title late last year. And I told them, point fucking blank, he won't get another title shot. Not for a very long time. They will do everything they can to fuck with the guy. That, you know, he wasn't ever supposed to be that popular in the first place. WWE likes to create its stars, not have them happen by themselves. And they weren't the guy that the company wanted to go with. So they were going to use any excuse to get him out of the title picture, and then every excuse to not put him back in. So you have the whole thing with nobody wants Reigns in this match either, after, you know, the shit that happened with the Royal Rumble, where everyone was begging for Daniel Bryan to come out, and, you know, everybody that came out who wasn't Daniel Bryan got booed. So, you know, Roman Reigns wins the Rumble, then has to defend his fucking, you know, number one contenders thing against Daniel Bryan. And I think the company did that to sort of try and pass the torch. And nobody fucking bought it. Nobody gave a shit. Everybody hates Reigns. And personally, out of the 3 members of the Shield, he is the least interesting to me. And I'll tell you why. He is the stereotypical big guy from back in the day. You know, the guy that they like, not because he's good in the ring, not because he's talented, not because he's a good talker, purely based on what he fucking looks like. And in Roman Reigns' case, his fucking family. Because let's face it, if he was some Joe Blow fucking nobody that was in developmental, and you know, look at Ryback, yeah, he was a Joe Blow fucking nobody. And look where he is now. Yeah, nowhere. Because he's a fucking idiot. And again, I'll get to him in a little while, because Jesus fucking Christ, that guy's dangerous. Where was I? Yeah, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was the boring element to the Shield for me. And he was the guy that, you know, sort of loomed in the background, scowling at people. Hit like 1 of 2 moves, and that's it, he's destroyed them. Which is where he's like a really shit superhero. And one night that I can't remember what fucking match it was. It was about 18 months ago now. It was a Shield match, and Roman Reigns kept disappearing off screen, and then reappearing. And when he reappeared, he'd do like this devastating move and knock people on their asses. And I turned to 3 Degree and said, you know, he's like a shit superhero. And as I said it, he did this thing again. And I just, off the cuff, out of nowhere, just started singing Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, every time he came on screen. And this has become a running joke and a little bit of a kind of ritual, repeato fucking thing. It's a running joke here at Team Lion Court that Roman Reigns. You can't just say his name once. But yeah, he's, oh my god, he's so fucking piss boring to watch. And you know, he's not dangerous. He's not crap in the ring. He's just fucking boring. He's just the standard, oh, I'm a really big guy and I should be fucking respected for it. And no, Roman, come back when you're not trying to ride on the coattails of who you're fucking related to. Come back when you've actually earned the place that you're in now, instead of being fucking touted by dickheads like Triple H, who, you know, let's be fair, the guy knows jack about booking. He knows fuck all. We've had some of the worst booking since he apparently took over creative. I know Vince has still got his fucking finger jammed firmly up Triple H's arse and is controlling, you know, micromanaging some of the things that he does. But yeah, you know, we've oh god, we've had some really bad shit since Triple H took over. The whole authority angle now is, it's like a poor man's copy of the Ministry and the Corporation from, you know, way back when, you know, when wrestling was great. And it's gone on far too long, having Cena end it and then Cena bring them back, and the less I talk about the fucking authority, the better. Where was I? Yeah, fucking Roman Reigns, and the tug of war over the title. Now this is the last segment of the show. this is the lasting impression that they want to leave with us between now and WrestleMania. This is supposed to be the image that makes people want to buy either the pay-per-view for $65 or the fucking network for $9.99. Newsflash, if that's what you're selling your network on, no wonder you've got shit numbers, because that image is one of the most, I want to say forgettable, but that's not the right term. I'd love to forget it, quite frankly. I would love for that not to be my final image between now and WrestleMania of Raw, but unfortunately it is. It's just, it was just so infantile. And when they're touting Brock Lesnar as this beast that's gonna, quote, give Reigns a prison beating, and they have him and Reigns tugging the title backwards and forwards between them. No, I've seen better match build up over at fucking TNA, and everyone knows that that company is basically a byword for shit. The other prediction that I made, and I was fucking heartbroken when this didn't happen, like legitimately upset, not just angry, upset. The match I wanted to see last year for The Undertaker was Undertaker Bray Wyatt. And when Bray Wyatt, a few months ago, started giving it Find Me in his little short promos, I was hopeful. And then months and months go on, and it becomes apparent that yes, Bray Wyatt, who is, in my opinion, one of the best fucking talkers they've got over at WWE at the moment, when it was, finally confirmed that, oh yes, my name is Bray Wyatt, and I am after The Undertaker. I want to be the new face of fear. I was marking out so fucking hard for this, because this was the match I wanted to see last year. And to me, the whole Brock Lesnar ending the streak thing pissed me off and made no sense to me, because to me, if they were going to end the streak, the greatest streak in WrestleMania history, if not wrestling history, they should have done it with an up-and-comer that was going to lead the company into a new era. Not a fucking part-timer like Brock pissing Lesnar. No, they should have done it with Bray Wyatt. And they should have had that be The Undertaker's fucking retirement match, because, as people who know the business quite well, and some of those who really don't but know a little bit, the saying goes is you always go out on your back in your last match. You always lose your last match, and that's you paying your last bit of your dues to the wrestling business. Now, it made perfect sense to me to have Bray Wyatt come in, give it loads about being the new face of fear. This whole run that he's done at the moment would have made far more sense last year. And it would have been fucking phenomenal. And it really, really would have. Because I've been looking forward... I've been saying for months and months, ever since Bray Wyatt first came out, I want to see this guy go up against The Undertaker. Because he's got this whole supernatural, spooky, mind control shit going on. And it's so reminiscent of The Undertaker back in the Ministry days that it gave me goosebumps. And Bray Wyatt, for the longest time, was my absolute fucking favourite thing about WWE. And at least for a short while there, he was the only fucking thing I cared about. Now, they've completely knocked the wind out of his sails with, him losing these big matches, like the whole thing with him going after John Cena and then getting his ass handed to him. Just constantly bigging himself up, and then the person, because they don't want to, I don't know, put too much faith in Bray Wyatt, or they just don't want to sacrifice one of their big guys, you know, like Orton or Cena, to him. They've had those guys beat him, and you know, he kept on with this. I am the eater of worlds. I am the destroyer, and he wasn't eating any worlds, and he wasn't destroying shit. He was getting his fucking ass handed to him every time he was in a big match. Now, they got rid of the Wyatts, which completely removed the whole sort of crazy cult leader thing. Now he's just some crazy hairy guy from the fucking backwoods that mouths off about weird shit. Now again, I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. I love Bray Wyatt. I think he's one of the best talkers in the last 10 years. So, let's go back a couple of weeks, and Bray Wyatt's out in the ring. He's got the urn. He's giving it loads about, you know, the urn being like the Undertaker and being hollow, and you know, all of this crap. And then the Undertaker's like the toll of the bell hits, and Bray Wyatt, rightfully so, is like, what the fuck? And the lights go down. There's lightning. There's the music. The lights come back up, and there's Bray Wyatt's fucking rocking chair. You know, the same rocking chair that somebody destroyed as part of a really shit gimmick and nobody cared about it. I can't remember who that was. Quite frankly, I don't care because it was shit. But there's Bray Wyatt, and he's looking at this fucking rocking chair. And on the screen comes, at WrestleMania, the man comes around, which is, you know, Undertaker accepting. And then one of my favourite things from back in the day, you know, back in the Attitude days, is a bolt of lightning, and it sets fire to the chair, and I'm going, yes! Yes! The Undertaker's throwing lightning around again! We're back to the glory days! And Undertaker's voice comes over the PA, and instantly then I started to get worried, because he sounded so fucking tired. And I'm not even sure that it was live. I'm almost 100% certain that it was cut up from something from years ago, that he, you know, some promo that he cut against somebody else. So I don't know. I don't even know whether it was fucking live. And Bray Wyatt is looking at this fucking chair. Bear in mind the prop wasn't too good, because you could see the burn plate. You know, the plate with the fuel for the fire to burn. You could see the fucking burn plate on the bottom of the chair. So that kind of shattered the illusion for me, because I tend to pick up on these little details. I deliberately look for them, that's why, because I'm funny like that. But yeah, he's just sat in the fucking corner of the ring, pissing himself, laughing like a madman. Yeah. So, it's the last Raw before Mania. And contrary to what I believed, Taker's got a match. And it's a tradition at Mania for Taker to be on the last Raw before Mania. Now, this was my second prediction to 3 degree. One, there'll be this big punch-up between Reigns and Lesnar, and it'll be, you know, it'll be something to fuel the fire. And that didn't happen. Bray Wyatt comes out, and he gives it loads, and he gives it loads. And he starts making the lightning happen and making the thunder happen, saying that, you know, the spirits no longer follow the Undertaker, they're now his to command. And that would have been great if Taker would have come out to defend the point. But no. The last Raw before Mania, no Taker. So, right there, those two things that didn't happen, for me, personally, Raw was fucking pointless. Because those two things were going to be the thing that made me care even a little bit because right now I there's like, other than the Bray Wyatt Taker thing, there is precisely jack shit about Mania that I'm looking forward to, which is kind of sad really, because I love WrestleMania. It's, you know, to the point where the last sort of 3-4 years, every WrestleMania I throw a party, I have a few friends round, we have some beers, we have a laugh, we make a whole fucking night of it. And that's a big deal for us over here in the UK, because the motherfucking thing doesn't start till midnight. So, you know, it doesn't end until like 4 AM. And by the time everyone gets to the main event, everyone's like, I'm too tired, or I'm too drunk, I can't deal with this. And I'm still sat there, I'm awake, I really love this. So, you know, it's a big thing for me not to give a shit about WrestleMania. And it's the first time it's happened. Now, I don't know whether that's still shock from last year that the streak's over, or whether it's just shitty writing and shitty booking for this year's Mania. Probably a bit of both of them, if I think about it. Probably more the shitty writing and awful booking than the streak, because at the end of the day, you know, the streak was only storyline anyway. But yeah. So, you know, the two things that I actually cared about didn't happen on Raw this week. For like the second week in a row, again, I think I said this before, but you know, for the second week running, we had no main event. Which, you know, fair enough, I don't pay to go and see Raw, but if Raw was over here and I paid to go and fucking see it, and there was no fucking main event, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed enough that I'd be asking for a fucking refund. And you know what I mean? It's you know, it's the main event of the fucking wrestling show. It's the top of the card. And what was the fucking Daniel Bryan versus Dolph fucking Ziggler was the last match on the card tonight. So technically, that makes that the fucking main event. And I love Daniel Bryan. And Dolph Ziggler isn't bad. But that shit's not main event worthy. That should not have been the last fucking match. And it wasn't even a good match. You know, they had this fucking bullshit, choose somebody to be a special guest referee shit. Which was fucking pointless. Utterly fucking pointless. They only did it so that whoever it was, it happened to be Dean Ambrose, they only did it so that whoever it was could nail the winner of the match between Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler, and then everybody else could come down like they fucking did for the IC clusterfuck pre-Mania clusterfuck. And it was shit. It was pointless. It was bullshit. Not one of them came out on top. Everybody's just sort of lying, strewn around fucking ringside, and then it fades off to the advert. So that made no sense and achieved exactly fucking nothing. And that's kind of the theme for this week's Raw, because we have the opening of the show was Sting. Now, Sting is still not coming out to any music that's actually recognisable as his. And I loved the fact that he the first fucking thing he said. Now, I'm going to reference Spoonie here, because Spoonie mentioned it. And it was really weird, because he does a show called Wrestle, and it was one of the shows that sort of gave me the idea for doing this, because I liked listening to Spoonie, who is a massive wrestling fan, talk about what made him feel that Raw was shit, and then I thought, fuck it, I'll throw my 10 cents worth in. Spoonie said, you know, he was talking about Triple H and Triple H running his mouth about this whole thing with Sting. And this has been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And quite frankly, if it wasn't for the fact that Sting had never been at Mania, then nobody would fucking care. So it opens the show, and Sting's in the ring, and he's like, so this is what it feels like to open Monday Night Raw. And there's been a lot of talk about why I'm doing this. And I just want to say for the record that it's got nothing, repeat, nothing to do with WCW. I think he calls it a forgotten war between WWE and WCW. And he outright says that to base this feud, whatever, problem that him and Triple H have got, to base that on the WCW thing would be fucking stupid. Now, this was literally, this was what, maybe half an hour after I'd heard Spoonie say, this is the most fucking stupid bullshit I've ever heard, that, you know, Triple H is still going on about this. And is trying to make this the point of this feud. So, straight away, Sting comes on and he's like, that'd be fucking shit. And then Stephanie comes out, and Stephanie's giving it loads. Oh, yeah. The fucking stupid shit that came out of Michael Cole's fucking mouth, right? Michael Cole says, Sting on Raw. Who'd have thought we'd ever see that? I don't know, Cole. Maybe somebody who'd watched anything WWE based for the last 3-4 months. Maybe then they'd think that Sting would be on Raw. You know, it's pretty fucking obvious, considering you're touting him for fucking WrestleMania. And on that subject, I knew a few weeks back, before it was even confirmed that Taker would be wrestling again at Mania, because there was a segment where they were sort of backstage and there was a WrestleMania poster in the background and it had Taker on it, and I think it was that night that Bray Wyatt made it abundantly clear that it was Taker that he was going after, and I was like, yeah, Taker's well gonna accept that, he's well at WrestleMania. But yeah, so Stephanie comes out, and, you know, she goes to slap him after making some really, really bad jokes, and, you know, Sting catches her arm, doesn't deck her, doesn't do anything untoward. Triple H's music hits, and he comes out, taking his tie off, and strutting down to the ring, thinking he's a 10-ton version of Vince McMahon. Which is another thing that's kind of annoying me about Triple H. He's not being himself, he's being like a beefcake version of the Mr. McMahon character. And no. You've not got the brains to be Mr. McMahon, mate. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. And he's at ringside, and he's there to Stephanie. Did he put his hands on you? You know, completely ignoring the fact that he saw Sting have hold of Stephanie's arm. Did he touch you? Despite the fact I saw him, you know, touching you. Did he touch you? And she's like, yeah. And he's about to get in the ring. And Stephanie goes, wait. Take this. And passes him the fucking sledgehammer. And he turns back to the ring. And as he turns back, Sting's whipping out this fucking baseball bat that's not even like the classic Sting style with the stinger on the end baseball bat that I remember from WCW. Triple H reacts to this thing as if it's a fucking lightsaber, as if, you know, fucking Sting's gone. Triple H, you are a moron. And he literally, he's like almost quaking with fear, and he won't get in the ring. He's got a fucking sledgehammer. You know, it's got like a 10-pound piece of fucking metal on the end of it. with a slightly longer reach than this fucking baseball bat. But no, because it's the mythical baseball bat of Sting, it apparently makes Triple H shit himself at 10 paces. So, that's the opening segment of the show. Now, bear in mind, this segment was fucking 15 minutes long, and nothing happened. Nothing. No fight. No real strong words. Just horse shit. From the beginning of the segment to the end of the segment. Just fucking horse shit. One of the things that I did hear that I found quite interesting was that last night's Raw was like almost 15 years to the day, or it was 15 years exactly to the day since Vince McMahon bought WCW, and I thought that was quite a cool thing that it was mentioned. But again, who, apart from us old fuckers, you know, who even remembers WCW? You know, what did they ever do that was memorable? The NWO, which WWE are now taking as much credit for as possible, and the finger poke of doom, and that fucking David Arquette winning the world title. That's what they're remembered for. That and Eric Bischoff being a dick, right? So, you know, Triple H bringing him up every week. It makes no sense for the fans who don't know who WCW were, and it makes even less sense to us fans that do remember it, because we're like, the fuck are you referencing them for? They were shit. And you just won't let them fucking fade away into obscurity. You have to keep fucking referencing them every opportunity you get. So, yeah, there's that whole segment. There's one thing that WWE have been doing for like 2 or 3 years now that really winds me up. It's this bullshit choose a match crap where they give you like 3 choices, but you're only ever gonna pick one. Right? Nobody else would say like, for instance, this tonight it was Randy Orton versus Big Show, Kane, or Rollins and J&J Security. Now, it's obvious everyone's gonna choose J&J and Seth Rollins, because that's where fucking Orton's headed when it comes to WrestleMania. Now, it's blatantly obvious that that is going to be the match that's on. And it's... WWE love to micromanage every aspect of the show. And do you really think, for one fucking minute, they're going to leave a decision like that in the hands of fans? No. It's fucking... It's the phone app version of fucking clickbait. That's what it is. You know, and anyone that votes on that shit, or downloads the app specifically to vote on that shit, you're a fucking mark, you're a dick, you're a dupe. Just stop being so easy to fucking puppet. Just point blank. So that's fucking announced. And, you know, newsflash, they chose Rollins and J&J Security. It was a shitty match. In fact, I'll get that out of the way now so I don't have to go, you know, get to it when I actually get to it. Notes. It was a shitty match. Rollins refused to get in the ring, and the 2 midgets got their ass handed to them by Randy Orton, and Rollins ran away like a girl again. Not saying that to be derogatory to women. I mean, he runs like an 8-year-old girl. That's what he looks like when he runs. So we get to the first match. Dean Ambrose and R-Truth versus Luke Harper and fucking Stardust. Now, I love Stardust. Don't get me wrong. I love this gimmick. I love this persona. I'm kind of gutted that they didn't continue with the Goldust Stardust rivalry, because that just fizzled out and went fucking nowhere. R-Truth. Why the fuck is he still in WWE? Like, he's not a great wrestler. He talks like a fool. They've made him this weird racist caricature of a black man. And he's not been relevant since, like, 1998, when he was fucking K-Quick. I think that was his old wrestling name. But yeah. And you've got Barrett on commentary, and the whole thing with them stealing the belt. Now, I agree with other people when they say that any time somebody steals the belt, it's a stupid angle and shouldn't be done at any point. But I have had some genuine chuckles just laughing at the sheer ridiculousness of the entire fucking thing. Now, like the commentators said, something about it being a very eclectic bunch of competitors. Now, that's because, yeah, it is. And it's not because they all want the IC title. It's because Creative had no fucking idea what they were going to do with these guys. So they thought, fuck it. We'll have 2 matches, and we'll stick everybody who's not doing anything into those matches so that they're doing something for WrestleMania. And we'll pretend that, these matches matter. I will get to this Battle Royale shit in a little while. Because this shit is even worse. It's an even bigger insult. So, the IC clusterfuck. And they've got Barrett on commentary. Now, I love Wade Barrett. I think he's great. But he's totally wasted on this storyline. It's not in his comfort zone for this, slightly comedic storyline. No. It was an okay match. There was a fucking evil clothesline on the outside that Ambrose did on Harper. Now, Ambrose has got that thing where he takes a hit and he'll bounce off the ropes and just fucking clock the guy. Now, he did it on the outside, and instead of bouncing off the ropes, he sort of spun round the bottom rope and came off, and fuck me, I felt that shit, and I was just watching it. It was a fucking blinding clothesline. It was fucking amazing. And then, instead of selling it on that point, Truth gets the pin on Stardust. After one of the laziest fucking... I think it's called the lie detector. Oh god, it was bad. The only other high points of the match were the Cody chants at Stardust, which I fucking love, because he sells that shit so well. And him standing in front of Barrett going, it's mine, precious. Fucking doing his Gollum thing. It's fucking great. Yeah, it was an average match trying to sell me, personally, on something I couldn't care less about. It's been a long time since titles meant anything in WWE, and that's a real shame, because titles when I was younger and I was into wrestling, the guy that had the title was generally, if he wasn't the heel, he was the best fucking guy going. And that doesn't really happen anymore. The titles are they're just there. There is no meaning to them. Then there's the whole short vignette of, Reigns giving it, I can, I will. And I'm not sold on the guy. The fans aren't sold on the guy. If he wins at Mania, the only happiness I will have is that Brock Lesnar is no longer champion. And I will just be looking forward to the guy that takes it from Reigns. I won't be celebrating Reigns' victory in any way, shape or form, and that's, again, it's a real fucking shame. Oh god, this 10-man tag team, 5-on-5 shit that everybody, I think, either it was everybody or nearly everybody from the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. Fuck me, is that a mouthful to say. First of all, this Battle Royale is so disrespectful to Andre the Giant. It means nothing. It means nothing. Cesaro won it last year, and there was a point made by a comment made by somebody a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember who the fuck it was. I think it might have been JBL, saying, he won the Memorial Battle Royale, and now he's one half of the tag team champions, which is something he probably would have got anyway. So what JBL was saying was he won the Battle Royale and got fuck all for it, because the thing means nothing. Now, Andre the Giant is one of the most recognisable faces in wrestling history. He's one of the most influential guys in wrestling history, and if you're gonna have something that's dedicated to him, have it fucking mean something. Don't just pay it fucking lip service. This is one of the guys that you built your company on the shoulders of, quite literally in certain cases. It's just so disrespectful to his memory to have this thing and then have it not mean anything aside from this horrible fucking fake gold fucking statue shit. It means less than nothing. So you had this 10-man. Why is there a fucking 10-man tag match other than the fact that they're trying to sell us on the Battle Royale bullshit? There was just too many people in the ring. Everyone doing the standard. Oh, I'm gonna jump in and get a couple of moves off, and then I'm gonna come out. There was some guy called Bill Simmons. Now again, I'm from the UK, and this guy might be a household name over in America, but I haven't got the fucking foggiest who he is. I haven't got a fucking clue. And personally, from the way he came across on commentary, the guy's a fucking knob. The guy, just it was, you could hear him being fed what was coming out of his mouth. Yeah, just too many people in the match. JBL mentioned The Miz in the same sentence as Jack fucking Nicholson. In relation to him being like a Hollywood A-lister or some shit. And I want to know who writes JBL's material, or whether they just wind him up and let him talk. Because fuck me, somebody should have vetoed that line. Because it made him sound 1,000 times more fucking banal and fucking pointless than he normally does. And then we get to Royd back. Now, I've said in previous editions of Raw is Wrong, this guy is fucking dangerous. This guy has no idea what he's doing. He's on too many fucking steroids, and he's fucking dangerous. And he's up again. I'm pretty sure it was Miz that was in the ring with him when he first gets in the ring, and he bounces off the ropes and literally shouts, "There's press!" Now, there's a great show I used to watch. I've not watched it in a while, called Botchamania on YouTube, and they did this whole segment of Everybody Talks Too Much, and it's this segment where you can hear them mumbling what the next move is going to be. Nah, Ryback just fucking shouted it. Everybody, like 9 rows back, knew what this move was going to be. And then there's this whole messy thing with, like, Miz reversing something or something, and then Ryback exploding out of the corner and meat hooking Miz. Now, I fucking hate the Miz. I don't think the guy's got any talent. The guy's not a good talker. He's certainly not a very good wrestler. That being said, I don't ever want to see people get seriously hurt in wrestling, like legitimately injured. And I love the thing that happens when a big guy clotheslines a little guy or a smaller guy and they turn themselves inside out to sell the move. Miz didn't do that. Miz was legitimately spun in mid-fucking air and lands on the back of his skull and then flops his body over and Ryback gets the pin. And, I mean, literally, like, Dented Nerd was like, just getting up to go do her placement. And all she could hear from the bedroom was me at the top of my voice go, "Fuck me! Jesus Christ!" I like, legitimately thought Ryback had killed this poor fucker. He's really, really completely unsafe in the ring. Excuse me a second while I try to adjust this bloody window again. I'm being blinded. No, that's even worse. Okay. And yes, because I suck at editing, I am going to leave that in. And then we get this, what's his fucking name? Bill fucking Simmons trying to shill the fucking network. And it's like, they really, really won't waste an opportunity to get somebody to whore out the network for them. This happens quite a bit. None more so than tonight. It was just fucking ridiculous. JBL every 2 minutes. Well, you could spend $65, or you could spend $10. Why would you buy $65 worth of WrestleMania when you could just pay $10? And I could almost hear Vince in the back, in his earpiece going, "Shut the fuck up! You're gonna cost us loads of fucking money." But yeah, obviously they want everything to be about the fucking network. And as I've already said at the start of this, the network's a piece of fucking shit, so don't fucking bother. Then we get the choice match, which I've already fucking covered. Which was awful. So... Oh yeah, the highlight of that match was Booker putting his rather large boot in his extremely large mouth. Fucking Orton gets J&J in the ropes for the Orton suspend DDT. And I'm so glad you couldn't see Cole's face, because I think Cole was legitimately crying at this point, and not with laughter, with just, oh my god, the stupid that just came out of this man's mouth. Booker calls it, and he's like, this may be a first. We've seen Orton double suspend DDT people on hundreds of occasions at this point. I could feel Cole's pain. And then we get a vignette for WrestleMania, hosted by LL Cool J. And I doubt there is anybody under the age of 20 that even knows who this fucking guy is. So it literally, like, my note is just, why is LL Cool J here? The fuck? To be honest, one of the things I do like about the writing of Raw, and I use that term very fucking loosely, is, like, backstage, they like, every episode has a title and a theme. And personally, my theme for this week's Raw was The fuck? That's it. That's what this episode was called. It was called The Fuck. Because constantly, throughout the show, they'd do something or say something, or, you know, a match would start, and I'd look at who was in the ring, or what was said, or what was being shown, and that was my only fucking reaction. Just genuinely, what the fuck is happening? And why the fuck is it happening, more to the point? And why the fuck is it happening on the last Raw before fucking Mania? Then we get the Divas match, which is for the title, and it's Abella versus Paige with AJ. And we knew there was going to be some skullfuckery going on. Yeah, it was awful. And, you know, the one thing that I'd like to say, if creative ever hear this, and it's not just to do with this match, it is a fucking running theme. When your wrestlers hit finishes on each other and the other one kicks out, it doesn't make the one who kicked out look strong. It makes them both look shit. A finisher is supposed to be just fucking that. You know, we've got Luke Harper and fucking Dolph Ziggler throwing around super kicks like they're chin locks. We've got divas kicking out of each other's finishes constantly. It doesn't add drama. It just saps the credibility from a person's finisher, which makes them in turn look utter shit in the ring. Now, you know, it's been many, many, many years since there was a great Divas match, and unfortunately this didn't break the tradition of shitty piss break matches. Nikki won after like an AJ Lee fuck up where she elbowed Paige and then was all panicked about it, and then them two fought afterwards, and nobody cares. And then we get in I think it's the last absolute what the fuck moment. I think. Don't hold me to that. There might be another one. Fucking Snoop Dogg comes out, and he comes out with the Divas, who don't stay, who dance their way back to the back. He comes out wearing the most god-awful outfit I've ever seen in my life. He gets interrupted by Curtis fucking Axel. And you know, I've never been a fan of Curtis Axel. Again, in my opinion, he's a guy that's only in the company because of who his dad and who his granddad were. And he's a guy that doesn't have the talent or the right to be where he is now. He hasn't earned it. It's pure genetics by that point. Fucking Lillian. When she introduced Snoop, instead of saying Snoop Dogg, she put this weird Snoop Dogg thing on her voice, and it. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. And then there's this whole Snoop going on about the many manias, and then Hulk Hogan comes out, and yeah, because it's, you know, Wrestlemania season, they've got to get all the fucking dinosaurs out of the cupboard, and then completely ruining any possible legitimacy that Curtis Axel would have had. They have Snoop Dogg, who's got arms like me, little thin arms like mine, little stick insect arms, right? They have him launch, and I don't just mean throw, I mean fucking launch Curtis Axel clean out of the ring. Yeah, it was, oh my god, just stupid fucking shit. Start to finish, stupid shit. Carrying on with the theme of stupid shit, Cesaro, Kid, and Natalya versus the Matadors and Torito in an interspecies match. Now, personally, I don't find Natalya attractive at all, but you know, I'd hardly describe her as another species. And everybody knows Torito isn't a bull; it's a guy in a stupid fucking costume. A guy that I actually think I don't know this, but I think it might be Hornswoggle. That's just the way it comes across. Fucking just messy, pointless crap. Natalya hits like an anvil-style hammer elbow thing on the little tiny, 2 foot and a fart fucking El Torito. And the fucker kicks out! I mean, what the fuck has Natalya done to this company for them to bury her in this way? You know, they have this whole fucking cringeworthy bit later on with her, Kid, and a fucking Burger King fucking takeaway. Right? They are burying this girl. I don't know whether it's because of, fucking she's having to pay for Bret Hart's past crimes, or whether, I don't know, Stephanie just doesn't fucking like her. But man, that woman has to eat a steaming pile of shit every time she's on screen. Whether it be in fucking Total Fucking Divas or in a match. I just feel sorry. I feel so sorry for her. And the shit eating doesn't end there. After she nails this fucking midget, that's what he is. I don't care how un-PC it is. The guy's a fucking midget, right? She fucking nails this fucking midget. The little fucker kicks out and then pins her. 1, 2, 3, fucking pins her. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. Just, yeah. And then the what the fuck continues. And it's less a what the fuck, more a... Hang on, am I watching a Raw from 5 months ago? No? That is the correct date? Yeah. Sure, I've seen this match. Rusev v Swagger. It's an identical match to one that I'm pretty sure they had at a pay-per-view. With the exception of Lana not being there. Once again, it's a crap match, it's slow, it's janky as fuck. And Rusev puts him in the camel clutch, or whatever the fuck he's renamed it. He puts Swagger in the camel clutch, and Swagger, who was apparently out cold before the move was put on, suddenly wakes up to tap out. But Rusev won't let it go. And he keeps hold of it until John Cena comes running out. And John Cena comes running out, and they scrap for a little while, and Rusev gets the better of John and kicks 37 kinds of shit out of him and passes him out on the announce desk, which, by the way, is one of the stupidest fucking places to go to put a submission hold on somebody. Normally when somebody clears the announce desk, it's because somebody's about to go through it. Now, I don't know whether he was supposed to sort of face first powerbomb him through the table, and the table just didn't break, so he decided to wing it and put him in the camel clutch, or whether that was the motivation all along. But it was fucking stupid. Prediction right here, right now for WrestleMania, John Cena's going to win. Just because it's WrestleMania, and yeah, it's America! It was a decent promo from Bray, like I said before. Heartbroken that we had no Taker on the last Raw before Mania. And yeah, the other thing that was announced was Kevin Nash going into the Hall of Fame. Obviously, the Daniel Bryan match. There was that awful top rope bulldog, and again, because of the way it was done, they sort of launched off the rope at different times, and I thought Daniel Bryan was going to fucking land on the top of his head, and that was going to be at the end of Daniel Bryan. And then they have that whole stupid fucking running shit afterwards, which was pointless. And that's it. That's the Raw before Mania. I'm kind of pissed off I wasted my time downloading the piece of shit now. I also wasted 2 hours, 19 minutes and 3 seconds of my life watching it. I don't know whether I'm just nostalgic or whether I'm asking too much of the company, but I expect the last Raw before Mania to be brutal, to be, especially when the main event is Brock Lesnar versus anybody. Somebody needs to get their fucking head kicked in at the end of Raw, and we don't need to end on a fucking tug of war, literally backwards and forwards with the fucking belt. No, not at all. So you know, I'm gonna watch Mania because it's a tradition. But I'm not excited for it this year. I'm really not. I'm less excited for it this year than I was for watching fucking Rock and Cena 2 years in a row. I really couldn't give two short shits. I guess what I'll do now is sort of make my predictions for Mania. I don't necessarily think Reigns is going to win, but I do think that Lesnar is not walking out with the title, whether it be because of a screw job, either Reigns beats him or Rollins cashes in and takes that shit. I couldn't care less about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Fuck me, like I say, that's a fucking mouthful to say. I couldn't care less about that. I couldn't give a shit about the IC title. Wyatt's going to beat Taker, and it's going to be Taker's retirement match, which is what it should have fucking been last year, point blank. Cena's going to beat Rusev. Don't care about the I think there's like a tag team turmoil shit. Couldn't care less about that. Have no interest in the fucking tag team division at the moment because all the teams are crap. Couldn't give a shit about the Divas. Yeah, it's. I think WrestleMania should be spelt with a meh this year because that's exactly how I feel about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my rant. I realise I've not done one of these videos, or indeed any videos, for a little while. That's primarily due to my illness. I have quite severe depression, and yeah, if I've been tripping over my words quite a lot during this, it's because I've been up since 8 o'clock yesterday morning. It's now... I've been up for almost 26 hours. So I'm feeling kind of tired. I'm gonna to render this up and get this uploaded. Also, this episode of Raw is Wrong, as you probably noticed at the start, didn't have the title card. That's because it's fucking vanished. It completely fucking vanished from my computer. So I'm gonna have to relocate all the parts that Dented Nerd used to put it together, and I'm gonna have to recreate it and actually put it in a fucking folder where I'll be able to find it. So yeah, I am Force of Will. If you liked / were amused / interested by anything I've had to say in the last however long, drop us a subscribe down below, drop us a like, drop us a tweet. We are at Team Lioncourt on Twitter. We do game streaming. It's been a bit irregular recently for aforementioned reasons, but we are twitch.tv/Team Lioncourt. Obviously we are Team Lioncourt here on the old YouTubes. I have been Force of Will. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.